the COVID-19 pandemic forced the cancellation of this year's Lamplighter Awards, the Longview ISD Foundation still celebrates the power of great educators, members of the most influential profession in the world. Without the education profession, there would be no other professions, for all of us learned our trade and skill from our teachers. The Longview ISD Foundation believes that students long remember the teachers with whom they had strong relationships, who truly cared about them, and who helped them become the successful students and young people they are. Thank you for joining the Longview ISD Foundation as students from each LISD campus honor their special educators at the 20th Annual Lamplighter Awards brought to you online. We also celebrate the Foundation's 25th year of service to the students and educators of Longview ISD. The Longview ISD sponsors 3 grant programs that enhance educational opportunity for LISD students: the Great Rewards for Great Ideas program, the Campus Initiative Grant Program, and the John W. Harrison Jr. Academic Field Trip Grant. Since 1996, the Foundation has funded 716 grants through the Great Rewards for Great Ideas program, returning $780,885 to Longview ISD teachers, counselors, librarians, and nurses so that they can provide the very best education possible for their students. These grants have funded programs and projects for students of all ability levels and in a variety of disciplines. In addition to strengthening academics, the grants have also funded projects in music, art, technology, character education, health and physical education, guidance and counseling, and STEM and STEAM education. The Longview ISD Foundation has also funded 46 campus initiative grants for a total of $136,673 to enhance programs that align with campus and district improvement plans to increase student achievement. In 2018, the Foundation began the John W. Harrison Jr. Academic Field Trip Grant, designated to fund academic trips for 4th and 5th graders and middle school students, allowing them to extend their classroom learning to places like the Perot Museum in Dallas, NASA in Houston, the Bob Bullock History Museum in Austin, and the State Capitol Building. The Foundation has funded 5 academic field trips totaling over $25,000. The Foundation invites you to enjoy each student as he or she pays tribute to their special educator. As you listen to each student, we hope you'll remember an educator who was special to you. We love all our teachers at Longview ISD and especially appreciate the sponsors of this year's Lamplighter Awards. Thank you and stay safe.
Each year, the Lamplighter Awards honor someone who's contributed to the success of the Longview ISD Foundation and the school district with the Cornerstone Award. This year, the Foundation has chosen to honor the Longview High School Interact Club, sponsored by the Rotary Club of Longview. As the Foundation began its 2019 Green Out t-shirt sale, it realized that it needed additional volunteer service to sell shirts at the many locations throughout Longview. Matthew Reed, Interact Club President, came forward to offer the club's services. Members of the Interact Club sold Green Out t-shirts at campus registrations and at the LISD employee convocation, and transported bins of shirts to locations in the miserable August heat in order to help the Longview ISD Foundation's volunteers hold successful sales. The annual Green Out t-shirt sale is one of the Foundation's major fundraisers that provides fundings for the Foundation's 3 grant programs. In October, the Interact Club members volunteered to serve at the Foundation's annual Bash Before the Clash hamburger tailgate sponsored by Vera Bank. The club's young men served the Lobo fans and cleaned up after the event, making certain that the Foundation had the help it needed on a very busy night. The Foundation proudly honors the Interact Club and its members, Matthew Reed, Jesse Gonzalez, and Tucker Gary, for the club's service to the Longview ISD Foundation. Thank you, Matthew, and the Interact Club. We appreciate you.
We could help. Thank you.
Each May, the Longview ISD Foundation awards scholarships through the Lobo Memorial Scholarship Fund to Longview High School seniors. In January 2020, Emily Myers, Longview High School graduate and the chair of the Scholarship Committee of the Longview ISD Foundation, met with her committee and announced the scholarship to Longview High School seniors. After reviewing and assessing the applications, the students' essays, resumes, transcripts, and letters of recommendation, Mrs. Myers and the Lobo Scholarship Fund Committee determined the scholarship recipients. The Longview ISD Foundation is proud to announce that it has awarded 7 $1,000 scholarships to members of the LHS class of 2020. They are Fatima Akilo, who will attend Rice University, Emma Brokey, who will attend Texas A&M University, Zoe Brown, who will attend the University of North Texas, Anna Burson, who will attend Texas A&M University, Kennedy Cameron, along with her twin sister Karis, who will both attend Norfolk State University, and Robert Huff III, who will attend Texas A&M University. The foundation solicits donations throughout the year to fund these scholarships. The Lobo Memorial Scholarship Fund has proudly provided over $80,000 in scholarship money to deserving seniors. If you would like to donate and help a future senior go to college, you may contribute to this fund by mailing a check or going on the Longview ISD website at www.lisdfoundation.org. Please donate and help tomorrow's seniors get the same fine education you received.
It is my 5th grade year at Bramley STEAM Academy. I am so excited. Summer is over and a few months have passed since I last saw my friends. I am not only excited to see my friends, but I am also excited to see my new teacher. I had heard about her from my brother who was in 5th grade last year. Today is August 19, 2019. I walked into class and there she was. She has a chocolate complexion and short hair and is a little overweight. I can tell that she doesn't play. I know she likes superheroes because she has on a red shirt with superheroes on it. She is funny and sometimes sarcastic. She is pretty and very smart. I have just met Miss Walker. Miss Walker helped me through hard times, and when I thought I couldn't do schoolwork, she helped me. Sometimes I would be angry and upset, and she would try to make my day. Some mornings I was hungry, and she would look in her closet and find something to feed me. She even made a store for the class to reward our good behavior. I always earned the most rewards for my good behavior because I was determined to be the best student in Ms. Walker's class. I wanted to make sure Ms. Walker was proud of me. The most significant event of my 5th grade year was when I ran for class president. I wasn't feeling sure about my choices of becoming class president because I didn't know if people would vote for me. Ms. Walker, however, was not having it. She didn't accept my doubts. She knew I was capable of more. I pushed myself to become class president, and I did it. Ms. Walker was beside me the whole time. I am happy to know Ms. Walker, and she will always be a part of my life.
Our teacher is Mrs. Alvarez. I like coming to the Montessori school because she is here waiting for me. Mrs. Alvarez does exams for pre-kindergarten and kindergarten students. She helps us learn more about math and writing every day. She wears glasses like me. She likes to wear vests and scarves when it is cold. Mrs. Alvarez looks pretty when she goes to meetings. My mom sends tamales to Mrs. Alvarez because she really likes spicy chicken tamales. She gives me thank you cards because I give her the tamales. I like that Mrs. Alvarez is my teacher because she taught me to write very beautifully. I will always love her.
School, a place most children would avoid any day. But in Miss Bickerdike's third grade class, that wasn't the case. I look forward to seeing the memorable, problem-solving, and amiable teacher every day. Miss Bickerdike was not like any normal teacher. When I explain why, you'll understand, or you'll see what I mean. It all started one fateful day, the first day of third grade. I walked in and was greeted with a big, cheerful smile by Miss Bickerdike. When I walked into her classroom, I hardly recognized anybody. Oh great, another one of those years, I muttered to myself. Little did third grade me know this was to be the greatest year of my student life. During the year, I learned my fair share about Miss B. Most days I saw the angelic, loving teacher, but another day I saw a strict and kind of scary demon teacher from who knows where. Miss Bickerdike figured out a trick to use to avoid being that demon teacher. Her cooking. You must be thinking, how do you, a mere student, know about her cooking? And if I'm totally honest, normally I shouldn't know, but this teacher was far from normal, in a good way. Given that we were all third graders at the time, we were chatty and rambunctious a lot of the time. So Miss B thought of a pretty cool system to keep us well behaved. If we got a compliment from another teacher or the principal, we would get a letter. Once we got enough letters to spell a word, Miss B would bake us some delicious brownies or bring us some Klondike bars. Pretty amazing, right? But the story doesn't end there. You see, third grade me and present day me writes for fun. Many days in third grade, I would spend my recess writing about my old pet hamster, Hammy. These stories would be about, well, anything, from saving the world from robots or rescuing the president. This little hamster has done it all. And guess who encouraged me to write those stories? Miss B. Miss B, she also urged me to read my stories to the whole class. I was pretty nervous that no one would like them, but Miss B gave me the courage I needed. I walked to the front of the room, holding 2 sheets of notebook paper that were filled with words. I looked at the faces of my classmates. Then Miss B announced what I was doing. I started to read out loud. The class loved them. Hammy and I were class celebrities now. Then something truly crazy happened. Miss Bickerdike told me that perhaps at the end of the year, I could bring Hammy to school. And it happened. Hammy the hamster went to third grade with me. I could go on and on and on about her, but I'm afraid I might break the computer's memory drive. I write this essay to show you, no, to prove to you, that Miss B made me and others good students and good people. So, I guess I'll say it now. Put your hands together for Miss Bickerdike, the winner of the Lamplighter contest.
Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, and involve me and I learn. Benjamin Franklin. One of the best things about 4th grade was my teacher, Miss Coulter. She made math class an exciting experience for me and my compadres. At first, some kids didn't like math and thought it was boring, but Miss Coulter turned their frown to boredom upside down. Although she was a fun-loving teacher, she was somewhat strict. In a way, she reminds me of a cucharita. You know those spicy Mexican candies that come on a plastic spoon and they're like 99 cents? Sweet and spicy. If you ask me, fairness means people treat everyone equally and give everyone the same choices and opportunities. Miss Coulter was a perfect illustration of this simple but important trait. She didn't judge her students by their race, gender, hobbies, or even grades. She judged us all by who we were. In the past, I've run into people who think because they're different, they're less than others, and that's completely and utterly bogus. Miss Coulter always told us that our differences make us who we are, and we should use those differences to stand out from the crowd. Each of us is the only ones the world's gonna get, so each of us should embrace what makes us unique and use it to inspire others. Miss Coulter wasn't just my teacher. She was a confidant. As I have already stated, she didn't have any prejudices about me or my personality. She knew me for me. She also accepted the fact that math wasn't everybody's strongest subject, but she still pushed us to our limits. I was one of those students for whom math wasn't my favorite subject. It was my subject. Miss Coulter always took me step by step on every math problem, and thanks to her, I was beginning to make 100s on every single assignment. She had been one of the most accepting, encouraging, and patient teachers I've had. I have friends who absolutely positively hate school. Of course, there's a lot not to like about school. I mean, from waking up before the sun rises and not eating until like noon, I get why some students don't like school. The 2 hours and 45 minutes I spent with Miss Coulter, though, were a breath of fresh air, as she would say. I've heard that some people don't like certain subjects or school entirely because the teachers don't make lessons engaging enough for their students to want to learn. However, not all teachers aren't like that. Not being engaged isn't even a possibility in Miss Coulter's class. At times, she would even ask us what we wanted to do the next day, and she would incorporate her math into the concoction we wanted. She literally was the Hermione Granger in mathematics. Boring wasn't even in her hefty vocabulary. She tried to stuff as much knowledge into our little noggins as she could, because she wanted us to be able to accomplish great things. Alexander K. Shenfer once said, "The best teachers are the ones who tell you where to look but not what to see." This is true for all teachers and educators around the world. Ms. Coulter is a teacher who teaches her students how to think but not what to think. I don't mean to sound too cliche, but she played a big role in molding me into the independent youngster I am today. For all you pepsters out there, I'm going to go ahead and pull a Whitaker and say that I am so proud and happy to announce that Kim Coulter as my star teacher. That didn't make sense. A huge shout out to all my teachers from Pep: Miss Kelly, Miss Jenkins, Miss Bledsoe, Miss Richardson, Miss Cooper, Miss Player, Miss Massey, Miss Cooley, and Miss Dawson for helping me on my journey as a pepster.
I love her. I love Miss Vasquez very much because she was good to me when I was in her third grade class. She was my first teacher at Yellow Harmony School. Miss Vasquez told me to speak and write English. To help me, she gave me a list of numbers where the name has the first thing in her. She helped me with my grades and writing English so I can speak well. Miss Vasquez has a gift. She helps others to make them feel better if they're sad. When I become sad, she talked with me to feel much better. When she had birth to her daughter, she missed a few weeks of school and left us with a substitute. Only spoke English. I felt fatherful with Miss Velasquez, but I calmed down because I knew he would return and I would be okay. I was fine. Miss Velasquez knew sure I was. And I see her again at school. I always say hello to her and I miss her so much that sometimes I want to go to her classroom and teach her third graders what she told me. Their students are lucky to have her as their teacher.
The unique Miss Small. I'm Miles King and I attend Johnson Plain Elementary School. I am proud to nominate Miss Small, my 5th grade science teacher, for the 2020 Lamplighter Award. I first met Miss Small when my older brother Mason had her for 5th grade science. I was just 5 years old, but I remember the smile she had on her face when I went with my mom and dad for a parent-teacher conference with her. While she talked to my parents, she found something to occupy me. The next year, I began kindergarten at Johnson Queen Elementary School. Kindergarten students were not required to do science projects, but Miss Small inspired me to do one anyway. The name of my project was Milk Rainbow. Completing the project was so much fun, and it was cool to watch the colors interact and move around in the plate. That was part of the project. My kindergarten teacher allowed me to show the project to my classmates when I finished it. I especially remember Miss Small being so proud of me Miss Small has inspired me throughout elementary school years. I remember one time my mom was the substitute in the library and she had after school duty. My mom instructed me to stay in the library and not let anyone in. When Miss Small came to the library to return something, I told her she couldn't come in just as my mom had instructed me. She asked, "Are you the library police?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am." After that, whenever I saw her in the hall, she would always say, "Here's the library police." When my 5th grade year began, I was upset because Miss Small was no longer a 5th grade science teacher. She was a STEAM teacher. I still got to see her and be in her STEAM class every other week, but I was excited when she was switched to be my 5th grade teacher. I was struggling to understand science until she stepped in and helped me get back on track. Miss Small is a unique person. She has a way about helping not only me, but also my classmates understand science. She is a compassionate teacher. I struggle with reading because of my dyslexia, but Miss Small is always there to encourage me to work harder. Sometimes I came to class with a bad attitude because I was struggling with an assignment, but she took the time to help me understand that I can make better choices and be a better student. Miss Small always finds a way to make every student feel special. Miss Small may be a science teacher, but to me she is a hero. She may not know it, but she changed my outlook on school and helped me be an outstanding student. Her kindness, understanding, and compassion make her the best teacher I've ever had. I'm honored to be a student in her class.
At Lady Williams STEAM Academy, I have one teacher, Mr. Harmon, who has inspired me the most. He has inspired me not just because we're both smart, but because we both have a lot in common. We both listen to Post Malone, an American singer, songwriter, and music producer, and watch the television show Young Sheldon. Mr. Harmon encouraged me when I could not do long duration. He spent time doing one-on-one practice with me, and by the end of the year, I had almost mastered it. He made a lot of jokes as he worked with me. When he was in the front of the projector, he looked like Kratos, the personification of strength in Greek mythology. Mr. Harmon is inspiring. I want to be just like him when I grow up, but with a different career. He has told us about different careers we might have. Thanks to him, I know what I want to be when I grow up, an aerospace engineer. Mr. Harmon is also very helpful, especially when he teaches math. One time, no one in the class knew the answer to a math problem, so he went slowly, step by step, through the problem. His step-by-step explanation helped me understand math problem better. I am glad he realized we needed to step-by-step instructions so we could understand. I believe Mr. Harmon should win the Lamplighter Award because he works hard, he hardly ever misses a day on the job, and he is a very likable person. He should win the Lamplighter Award because he has left an everlasting imprint on my life. Some students grow up and want to be like an athlete or a celebrity, but I chose to be like my favorite teacher, Mr. Harmon.
One teacher changed my life. She is a fantastic Miss Odom. My 4th grade teacher. She is the most passionate person I've ever met. She helped me with my huge struggles and insecurities. The first day I thought another typical first day of school. Boy, was I wrong. She was the most passionate person I've ever met and had a passion for teaching her students. And we'll go step by step with her students until they get it and won't get mad at you. Because she wants her students to thrive at everything they do and be successful in life. But one thing that Miss Odom told me that will stick with me, and I know if they stick with me, I'll be a good person. The word she said is don't let people bring you down with them. I know if I stick to those words, I'll be successful and will one day be a big thing.
I have had so many wonderful teachers over the years that I had a hard time picking just one. So I began to make a list of different reasons why I felt each teacher was my favorite. As I am creating my list, I decided one teacher makes me feel such joy that I can't seem to stop smiling as I am thinking about all the great traits she has. Have you ever had a teacher who just makes you feel so special that your heart could burst into pieces? The feeling is like taking that first drink of coffee early on a cold wintry morning, or seeing the ice cream truck by your house on a hot summer day. These feelings describe how I feel about Miss Chastain. Although I have not had the privilege of being part of her classroom, she is my favorite teacher. I have so many wonderful things to say about her that I don't know where to even begin. She is a true bucket filler, never a bucket dipper. As a bucket dipper, she helps others without being asked, gives hugs and compliments, and spreads her love and a good feeling to others. She always has a smile on her face, and no one will ever know if she's having a bad day. Does she even have bad days? She always has a positive attitude that is contagious and makes students feel good about how their day will go. I can tell she loves her job. Miss Chastain gives everyone funny nicknames and compliments the students and teachers. She is always very encouraging and tries to bring the best out of each of us at Ware. I might be having a bad day, but as soon as I hear Anna Banana, I smile and forget about my bad day. Teachers are a very important part of our young lives. They are our role models, and as we look up to them, they are the reasons we learn something new every day. Teachers don't just teach school stuff, they also teach kindness, manners, and respect. Miss Chastain is a great example of what a teacher should be. She may not have taught me math, reading, or science, but she has taught me something no one can find in books. She has taught me by her own actions that we could be kind and nice to one another. She has shown me that there is nothing wrong with encouraging others and that everyone is special in his or her own ways. She is always so sweet and has such bright personality. I could write on and on to tell why I chose Miss Chastain as my favorite teacher, but I think everyone gets the point. She should receive the Lamplighter Award because she has made a big difference in the lives of Ware students and teachers. Only a special person can touch the hearts of many, and Miss Chastain has done just that. I think she is one in a billion.
I have met someone who has made an impact on me, someone who helped bring out the best in me, someone who has changed me for the better. I have met Miss Cupton, my 8th grade English language arts teacher, and an amazing, encouraging, and trustworthy person. I believe Miss Cupton is trustworthy because I can respond to a lesson in class without anyone making fun of me. With Miss Cupton, I don't have to be afraid when we learn new concepts in her class because I am in a comforting place. I know she will be there for me. I can tell her anything without being scared. Miss Cupton isn't only trustworthy, she is also encouraging. If I don't understand a new skill or concept we're learning, she will encourage me to try my best and give it my all. She does not allow me to give up. She can make the schoolwork understandable for me. I say that Miss Cupton is amazing because she does not like to see us stressed or angry because of a bad grade we earned. If we make a bad grade, she still believes in us and knows that we can do much better. I can say with confidence that Miss Cupton deserves the Lamplighter Award.
Boom, pop, pow. Mr. La Garza is like a firework going off 24/7. Bursting with energy, his firework will always light my lamp and keep it shining bright. Sometimes, learning in school can be a bit boring, but not for students in Mr. De La Garza's class. Learning in his class is like running a marathon. There's a lot for me to learn, a lot of hard work to do, and some tricky concepts I must face. But in the end, I know I've put everything I have on the line. I'm left feeling proud of my accomplishments when I do well on my assessments. When I finish the race, I know it will be worth it, and I will give credit for all my success to Mr. De La Garza. In class, we participate in interactive projects and activities which help us understand the world around us in a fun way. Once, we learned how various metals turn a flame into a variety of colors because of their composition. We placed various metals over a flame and observed the resulting colors. Mr. De La Garza connected this information to how fireworks obtain their color. Now I have a deeper understanding of why metals work in this way. Mr. De La Garza's exciting way of teaching makes me look forward to attending his class. Although science has always been my favorite subject, Mr. De La Garza has gone above and beyond to enrich my learning experience. One characteristic I enjoy most about Mr. De La Garza is his humor. No matter how bad the day has been, I walk into his class and everything turns around. Mr. Delgarza's body language is especially humorous. If I ask a question or am responding to his question, instead of interrupting me, he moves his pointer finger in a wiggling manner to show approval. After I finish speaking, he says, yes, yes, and discusses with me why my answer is correct or incorrect. His humor ensures a friendly, fun environment that allows us to learn and succeed. Another quality that makes Mr. Delgarza shine is the patience that he gives to his students. He gives each student one-on-one instruction, and the care and patience in which he presents his lessons is like food to hungry children. His students want to gobble it up. One day, I was confused about the electromagnetic spectrum. I admit I was becoming frustrated because I didn't understand. The day had already been a little rough for me. I had a headache and an immense amount of homework. I just wanted to head home, but I knew I would have to finish the rest of my day whether I liked it or not. I asked Mr. Delgarza a detailed question about the spectrum, but instead of giving me a terse response, he sat down and took time with me to analyze my confusion. He worked with me until I understood thoroughly, bringing the bright sunshine my rainy day was longing for. Without Mr. Delgarza's patience that day, I would have had a stormy day. I'm tremendously grateful for the patience he displays every day in his classroom. While Mr. Delgarza is appreciated for these characteristics, the list of traits making him an extraordinary person goes on and on. I've just handpicked a few qualities to highlight his true personality. Mr. Delgarza should receive the Lamplighter Award for his humor, patience, positive attitude, and benevolence that he shares with the people at Foster Middle School. I'm forever thankful for him and his cheery personality. Teachers like him don't come around often. Thank you, Mr. Delgarza, for being the fireworks that burst in my life. Your many colors inspire me and keep my lamp of knowledge burning.
Imagine sitting in a room where the sun's rays are always beaming, in a room that is never gloomy, and in a room where the spirits are always at a peak. On August 19, 2019, I began an unexpected journey. On that day, I met Miss Williams, the most spiritual, vibrant human being to exist on planet Earth. I knew from the second I saw her that she was unique, a teacher like no other. Her aura irradiated ecstasy. Miss Williams fits the description of the teacher of a student's dreams. She is comprehensive, entertaining, and firm. She knows when to have an elegant time and makes ELA class amusing for us teens. There is never a day when her vibes are still. Miss Williams is accepting of all and does not discriminate against others. She's comprehensive, compassionate, attentive, and pushes her students to be their best selves because she has faith in us. You may be asking, how does she do it? Miss Williams makes us get out of our comfort zones and makes the shy sing while making the exotic learn control. When working, she goes along with us to make the class learn with ease. Therefore, what we learn seems simple, and it is. I can recall a time when I was going through a brutal time in my life not too long ago. I was struggling to the point where I considered doing hurtful things to myself. I was losing progress over what I had conquered and was relapsing. I was not stable and felt unsafe and alone. I knew I needed help, but I was too timid to ask for the help I needed. One day I walked into class and it was like Miss Williams, knew. She said, as young people, we should not take in the problems that do not concern us. It felt like a great awakening. I felt relieved that day. The help that had held me down suddenly vanished. Miss Williams is the type of person people can become friends with within the second they meet her. She is the person who leads and continues the conversation. She is one who reaches out to others before they reach out to her. She carefully observes what others have to say, and she is lenient with the time God has given her. Miss Williams is gifted in many ways, and I wish this earth had enough trees to supply me with the paper needed to write a novel about Miss Williams. Perhaps one day, if I become a famous author with a book being bestsellers, I know Miss Williams will believe in me, and that's a fact.
The teacher who has had the most impact on me is Miss Sabalos. She is very nice and understanding. She is a great role model and she listens to her students and doesn't see us just as a school. Instead, she sees us as her own children. When students are down or sick, she always asks about their well-being. She encouraged me to do my work every day, although I would rather be on my cell phone. Before I came to this school, I thought everyone was going to be mean to me. but Miss Sabalos gave me comfort. And when I struggled in English, she sat there and talked to me about my mistakes and helped me improve. Miss Sabalos believes in everyone and wants all of us to succeed. We all have our own bonds with her, ones that can never be broken no matter what. She also has a way to make study island fun. Even when it's time to test, she smiles and said, "Y'all got this." Her encouragement makes me want to do well, just so I can see her smile when she sees that I passed and used all I have learned from her.
Buena suerte y mi amor son dos de las frases más escuchadas en la clase IB Español 4. Good luck and my love are two of the most heard phrases in the IB Spanish 4 class. Before every test, before every presentation, before every essay, we hear, "Buena suerte, mis amores." This phrase is only one of the many phrases I hear Miss Mancha say every day that bring me comfort. Miss Mancha has every quality that an admirable and unforgettable teacher should obtain. She is patient, caring, and extremely knowledgeable. Her classroom is welcoming, personal, and fun. Whether it be connecting with me, keeping up with my personal life, or simply teaching, Miss Mancha is a teacher who has greatly impacted my life in ways I will never forget, and I believe that she is very deserving of this award. Miss Mancha has not only taught me for the past 3 years, but also my older sister, my mom, my dad, and their siblings. You could say Miss Mancha has known my family longer than I have. I have even been trying to convince her to stay through both my younger brother and sister rather than retiring. One of my favorite parts of class is getting to hear stories about my older family members. Miss Mancha only has positive things to say about her time spent with my family and their progress in her class. Having a competitive nature, I love hearing the progress of my family members because it makes me work harder to keep up with my grades. This hard work has contributed to my overall understanding of Spanish. Both of my parents remember Miss Mancha's class as challenging yet rewarding because of its teacher, and I couldn't agree more. The atmosphere in Miss Mancha's classroom makes Spanish one of my favorite classes. Walking into IB Español 4 every day, I hear, "Hola clase, ¿cómo están?" or "Hello class, how are you all?" That phrase quickly became one that I look forward to hearing 3 years ago when I first had the privilege of learning from Miss Mancha. She goes above and beyond to establish a personal connection with each and every one of her students by checking on us when we are absent and making sure that everyone feels included. These personal connections last all throughout the class period. As we leave Spanish for the day, she uses her students' names to tell them goodbye. This farewell makes me feel important, showing that Miss Mancha cares enough to call me by name. At the beginning of class, she always asks about our week, whether that be as simple as the results in our UIL sporting event the night before, or how our families are doing. Every Tuesday as I leave class during soccer season, she wishes me luck on the game, and every Thursday when I see her again, we are able to talk about the results. This special attention places Miss Mancha on a pedestal higher than most teachers at any school. Similarly, during football season, she tells me to have fun cheering on the sidelines. All home games in season, I can always spot Miss Mancha in the stands, supporting all of her students involved in the Friday night lights. This support is existent no matter the weather, and we all know how Texas weather can be. Hot and humid one day and cold and raining the next. In addition, my family has season tickets directly next to Miss Mancha's. At halftime, I walk to my parents and grandparents to find them already in conversation with my teacher. These conversations prove that she cares about me because she is going out of her way to talk to me and my family outside of the normal school day. Teachers like Miss Mancha are one in a million. There are few teachers who have taught generations of students, created personal connections with each one, and are still prodigious teachers in their subject. Miss Mancha easily qualifies in each of these categories. She is patient, making sure that we fully grasp a concept before moving on. Since sophomore year, she has been teaching me to listen to and speak the Spanish language, and every year that task gets harder. I cannot thank her enough for sticking with me, helping me know the difference between the preterite and the imperfect tenses, or helping me navigate through each of the subjunctive tenses. My understanding of this language has grown exponentially over the last 3 years, and that is only because I had the most capable teacher in the world. Because of her teaching, I was able to take my education with me as I traveled to Ecuador on a mission trip. I could better understand the native people and had an easier time trying to communicate with them. In summation, every quality that a good teacher should possess is a quality that Miss Mancha not only possesses, but also excels in. She cares for her students, finding personal connections with all of them based on their individual personalities. Patience courses through her veins, and she approaches challenges and setbacks with grace and ease. Organization comes naturally for Ms. Mancha, as she is prepared for classes months away from their occurrence. Ms. Mancha has greatly impacted my life by showing me how people should care about their relationships and treat others around them. There is no better teacher qualified to teach IB Spanish, and I have been very blessed to have Ms. Mancha as my teacher and role model. No hay un mejor maestro calificado para enseñar IB Español, y he sido muy bendecida de tener a la señora Mancha como mi maestra y modelo seguir.
One of the most dangerous traits we as humans have is our biases. We enter into almost everything that we do with a mental picture or a stereotype that reflects our expectations of a situation. I have held many biases and stereotypes throughout my life. That senior year would be easy, that 1,000-word essays can be written overnight, or even that math gets easier with practice. Sadly, for students everywhere, most stereotypes hold gross overgeneralizations and rarely any truth. Despite their paradoxical nature, stereotypes have allowed for humans to function in a world where things seemed magical. The random growth of plants, the spontaneous appearance of fruit flies on an overripe apple, and even a water droplet on their skin after they got too hot. Stereotypes allowed for early humans to generalize reasons for those phenomena through mental pictures of cause and effect. But the reason that I understand all of these occurrences is for one special reason. I'm enrolled in Ms. Barrett's International Baccalaureate Biology class. My most dangerous assumption was that biology would be a natural talent of mine. I began the class with expectations of earning A's across the board and regarded a 90 as a birthright to any student who turned in their work. I was in for a rude awakening once entering Ms. Barrett's class. Ms. Barrett is the embodiment of having high expectations for her students. I made a 16 on the first IB biology quiz, and then I received a 0, and then a 12, and then a 6. I was, however, a high-performing student in the class, despite what my grades might have reflected. Most of the students resented Ms. Barrett for continuing to give them poor grades, while the rest of the class was just confused. I was unbelievably discouraged by this class. Later in the grading period, we were tasked with creating a mesocosm, an experiment that examines the natural environment under controlled conditions. I slaved away for weeks on my lab report, using every critique, every resource, and every example Ms. Barrett had given me. I submitted my report with such pride and accomplishment, but also with uncertainty. The following week, I received my lab report back with a note that read, "Hi Nudie, I know you think I'm hard on you, but I'm beginning to get a glimpse of the beautiful brain that I know is there. You are beginning to write like a scientist, and I'm very excited to witness that growth. Keep your chin up, push forward, and make it happen. Good job, 95. Nothing will ever equate to the confidence that this simple note gave me. Ms. Barrett noticed my hard work, and whether my report was 95 material, she chose to use that moment as a teaching moment to teach me that hard work and dedication are rewarding. Fast forwarding a year, our class is endowed with a ridiculous amount of knowledge. Ms. Barrett continued to have high expectations for our class and even completely revising her class setup. A substantial part of learning biology comes from a student's unique learning style. Completely aware of this, Ms. Barrett began to dedicate assignments to studying habits, ensuring that we learned effective studying techniques. Every student benefited by learning how to study. While Ms. Barrett prepared us for the IB biology test, that is not all she did to deserve the Lamplighter Award. A few weeks ago, I was listening to my daily podcast, a habit I developed to stay current on worldwide science events. I was introduced to an idea that I found revolutionary, a seaweed that could solve climate change. I was introduced to this, and while most teachers adhere strictly to their lesson plans, Ms. Barrett considered this idea with me for over 30 minutes, connecting it to our current curriculum. She is now researching the topic of this seaweed and to help me conduct an IB internal assessment experiment over it. This scenario is a prime example of the ways that Ms. Barrett truly listens to her students and encourages them to explore ideas in any way that they seem fit. Moreover, Ms. Barrett's class lectures have become famous among the students in the class for ending the way sermons do. She explains the way DNA replication works or the mechanism of plant transpiration, and then she ties a perfect little bow on the lecture. The world makes far more sense after leaving her class. More importantly, because of Miss Barrett, I have a great respect and admiration for human, plant, and animal life. Miss Barrett constantly stresses the intentional design of every living organism and the beauty of our natural world. I never would have thought that the words translocation of transfer ribonucleic acid through a ribosomal unit would have been English, much less a concept that I came to admire. I want to thank Miss Barrett. After her encouraging words, her careful guidance, and eloquent teaching style, I'm confident in my ambitions to enter a biology-based occupational field. I had stereotyped scientists to be callous, pragmatic, and even bland, but Miss Barrett's flowery personality and creative mind are traits she often shares with us, and for that, I cannot be grateful enough. No one is ever grateful to be wrong, but I most certainly am. Redemption story, success story, roller coaster, growing pains. These are all descriptions of my invaluable time with Miss Barrett, but most of all, she has given her students life lessons in a class dedicated to the study of life.
I wasn't alone. My legs were shaking as I walked into the class. My face was red and my mind was out of place. This is the day I met the teacher who would change my life forever. Not only was this my first day of school, but also my first time ever learning a new language in a country I wasn't familiar with. Ms. Hernandez was a perfect teacher in my eyes. She was bilingual and eager to teach. I, however, was unsure what was going on. I was only 12 years old and in the 4th grade at Sapper Elementary when I met the person who made a great impact on my life. Unaware that I didn't know English, she continued to teach the lesson. I didn't know how to react, so I just stood there and tried to go with the flow of the classroom. Later that day, she came to me during lunch and apologized, which made me feel very special, and that's where it all began. She had the qualities of a teacher. She was caring, kind, and very compassionate.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
Okay. She had the qualities of a teacher. She was caring, kind, and patient, and also had the ability to engage students to learn. She would reward her students for achievements, making every individual feel special. She included us in her life, but most importantly, she was very compassionate. We developed a very good relationship in no longer than a week. She made me feel like I wasn't alone. Ms. Hernandez taught me almost everything I know, because as far as I remember, I didn't know English, not even a little. But with her help, I was slowly learning. I remember I always won the first place in the spelling bee. I once won a contest as the student who read the most books, and I received the privilege to go to the library with her. That day was amazing because at the end, she invited us for milkshake. The day was made even more special because she invested her own time and money to make us happy. It's very scary when one moves to another country for better opportunities and gets bashed for not knowing anything at all. But with her, my lack of knowledge was fine. She made me feel like I wasn't alone and stood up for me when I was a new kid alone in the corner while being made fun of for not being able to pronounce words. I will never forget Ms. Hernandez, for she is definitely a role model. Thanks to her, I am here, and I will continue with my education. She deserves to be honored as she continues to change lives. I would like to thank her for the effort she made during the years she taught me.